Welcome back to Automotive Electronics. We got ourselves a little project today, thanks to me leaving it out in the rain. See if we can get it fixed. Yeah, it's a little different. It's not an instrument cluster for a change, but I think we can still use the same approach at it. Okay, and this is what we got. My Sony speaker box. As you can see, I've put this thing on the patio. Well, you can kind of see right here, we got some lights coming on, but we got no power. No power to turn it on. Don't really know what's going on with it yet, so we're just going to have to figure all that out as we go. This is a Sony, let me see if I can read it upside down, GTK XB7. I've got two of these. One at the house. This thing broke loose and we had to fish it out and redo these wires back here, so I'm not sure if that's going to be an issue or not, but first things first, we got to get this apart. I got some weird camera angles going on. It's not an instrument. Normally I've got a camera up here shooting straight down. Well, that ain't going to work on this because you know, it's not. So let's start getting some screws out. See if y'all can still see. We got several around the edge here. I'm just going to pull these out and see if we can't get stuff to turn loose. Get in there. I'm sure we got several more. And I'm sure it's got the hidden screws too. So let's see if we can get these little rubber feet off. Yep, there's screws under there. I'm sure the other side's going to be the same. Let's see if I can catch one or two of these screws as they come out. Got one. Turn everything down from my workbench. The other one's already on the ground. We are not set up to work on these big speaker boxes. Got a pretty decent setup for working on instrument clusters, but this is a little different. Yeah, we got some rubber plugs on the side. We don't have the feet, but we got the plugs, so let's see if we can get those out of there. Yeah. All right. All right, those are out. That one went flying, so I don't know where it went. Looks like there's a couple up in the front here, under some plugs maybe. Let's try to get this around where y'all can see. There's a couple of plugs in here, rubber plugs. Rubber plugs normally mean they're hiding something. Probably standing right in y'all's way. Okay. Naturally, I don't have a magnet in here. Let's see if this magnet on this light will work. Yep. Okay. more rubber plugs in here. Right down in here. See where my screwdriver's going? Probably lost that little rubber plug forever, but you know what's wonderful about fixing something that's broke? Can't hardly make it any worse. At least that's the way I approach it. It ain't working now, so how does it get any worse? Okay, I'm back from answering all the phone calls. Oh yeah, we got this apart. Alright. And inside here, looks like we got a little ribbon cable going on to the control board. Probably, yeah, this is unplugged now. So let's see if we can just well, I don't want to unplug that one. Now that I picked that thing up, I'm going to make sure it stays in there right. Oh, it's already glued down. These are kind of glued to the surface there. Alright, so I got that separated now. And we got down to the core here. I'm going to try to get these boards out. See what the heck's going on. That looks pretty simple. Okay, we got the power cord going in. Obviously it was getting power, so we need to make sure we have power coming out. And take a look at this so I can talk intelligently about it, and I'll get back. Okay. Wow. Alright, so I think what we got going on is I'm going to take a look at this board here that's on top, because I know kind of what caused this, and what caused this was it's sitting out in the rain. And it looks fairly well protected from the rain on the inside, and I'm not seeing anything on the inside of the box that is drastically burnt up or anything. So I think we might have a situation where this had some exposure, and I've already got sand. This box has been through hell. So I've got sand showing up in here. This is soldered on, I believe. Let's see if we can get this ribbon cable to just come out. Yes. Alright, so we got the cable out. Basically, these are just the switches, the on-off switch, the power button, etc., etc. So, switch 4 function, switch 3 base control, there's the power button. We've also got this board here. However, I'm not really suspecting this board here because, again, it's pretty well protected from the rain. And other than this board just being dirtier than hell, let's see if we can take a look at it under the microscope. Look at the connectors, see if we can see anything here. Alright, got my microscope view up. Boy, it's a little glitchy. Let's see if I can make this any better. Hang on. Don't go away. I'm still here. Oh, it's still acting up on me. Oh well. We're just gonna blow around and look at these solder points. See if we can see any cracking, anything going on like that. Whoa, what in the world is going on with my microscope? It's not happy. So you guys hang on and I'll get right back to you. Alright, we got the microscope fixed. And I'm not really used to looking at solder joints like that, but we're up here on this little thing. I'm not even sure. No, that's not a solder joint. Alright, coming back out, zoomed out. These are the ones we are concerned with from here over. So, get my focus right. Okay, and these are the pins to the ribbon cable. If I can find my, gotta come out so I can find what I'm at here. Trying to watch this through the, okay. There we go. I'll get zoom back in on these. This is where the ribbon cable attaches. Not really seeing any cracking. So I'm used to working on instrument clusters, and those things are vibrating around in the car all the time. So we may not be seeing, we're not going to have as much likelihood of cracked solder joints on this. So, and it doesn't really look like we have any. Kind of going over stuff on the board here, getting a good look at it. These are no connects. Those things right there are no connects. Not connected to anything. I'm not sure what's what with this. Said I wish I could talk more intelligently about it. Like I don't feel like I know what I'm doing with these, but just looking for anything I can find that's obvious. Figure it might be beneficial to somebody, because somebody might be as much of a dumbass as I am and leave their shit out in the rain. Alright. These buttons don't look great. I'm wondering if I put this in my ultrasonic cleaner and clean it, if we can get any action happening. Perhaps just the ribbon cables needed to be cleaned up. That could be the case as well. Something getting down in the ribbon cable and causing an issue. Stuff that ribbon cable back down in there. Probably went this way. Let's see how this went. Yeah, it went this way. Went this way. Alright. Plug back in there. this camera tilted back up so you can see what I'm working on. Alright. This one plugged back in. Leave this board loose. I'll throw some power to this and see if we got any difference. Struggling with something that I don't normally work on. How are you doing? Just a second here and get this where I can let go of it. Alright. Okay. Let me show you what I have found on this. So on the other side of this power switch, I should be able to test for continuity with that button pushed. If I can get my leads on here. Got my finger on the other side of the board to push the button if I ever get my leads on here. Okay, button pushed, nothing. So that would be a reason it's not coming on. Because see, here's one of the other buttons. Yeah. So this button's bad. It's not even being told to turn on, so it's certainly not going to turn on if it's not being told to turn on. And this is the board that was sitting up on top, probably subject to rain. So now the question is just, where do I get one of those switches? Let me get this switch out, and we'll see if we can't I gotta get some glasses on. And I'm not sure I'm going to spend any money on, or spend any time on jacking with this. I may have to put a momentary switch on, just wire it outside the box. I guess I could move the volume down button over, because who the hell needs a volume down button? Nobody cares about turning it down. Alright, that's out. And let's see if we can't test that again. Verify what we pretty much already know to be true. Getting the leads on here is the tricky part, and getting the button pushed. How about we do it like this? Put it face down. I'm going to have to poke on both sides at the same time. Yeah, we got nothing. Nothing. So I'm not going to get all nano surgery on you and start taking this button apart, because juice ain't worth the squeeze. But we definitely have probably some water infiltration into there and some corrosion causing us to not be able to get contact. And that, my friends, is that. I got another set of leads here that's kind of like this. I'm going to switch out to my multimeter and see if we can't do this a little easier. Oh, put them in the right holes. I know right now y'all are jealous of my high dollar multimeter. we go. Oh. Yeah. So we got absolutely nothing. And if we go back to, let's say, the volume up button, as soon as I press it, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, yep. And this one is good. And this one, good. And this one, kind of wants to work. Yeah, that one's working. So there you go. We found it. Bad power switch. Let me see if I can find something that we can rig up while I wait on. I can get this part off Mauser, I'm sure, but we'll rig something up so I can finish this video. Well, it just dawned on me. Fix instrument clusters for a living. Guess what's on instrument clusters? Momentary switches. So this is going to be the first ever Sony GM box. Alright. Now the only problem is that is a through hole momentary switch and this is a surface mount momentary switch. And I guess we should make sure that that momentary switch works prior to committing to this, because this cluster was seriously toe up. So we're going to put the leads on each side. That's a good switch. See if we can get that off of there without destroying it. Just gonna pry up a little bit while I'm working here. Got one side loose. There we go. Get the other side off of there. And we got it off. Alright, now all we got to do is somehow get that over on this. I'm going to go ahead and kill the power to that, just in case. Okay, so we have got our momentary button that we need to install. Got the power off. I can put this aside. Don't need that for right now. I'll need to get this ribbon cable off again. Just about need a quick disconnect on that bad boy. And we're going to have to figure out how to get this attached. And maybe we can attach it by running a wire through here. I would say that should work. So let me try that. We'll solder it. For those of you following along at home and saying how mousy this is, well, Sanford and Son used to be one of my favorite shows. Lamont. Yeah. That's back when we had good comedy. Can't really remember that guy's name. I think it was maybe Red Fox or something like that. Yeah, Red Fox. He was a good dude. Anyway, let's get that trimmed. And we're going to run this side through that hole. Solder that in place. feel like it attached very well. No, that is not attaching. This wire is a little dirty looking. We'll just strip off some fresh stuff here. See if we don't get a better result. Still not the greatest. Okay, that's on there now. Go to this side. Our momentary switch. Get that in between them. Those wires a little long kind of helped because it's got something to grab a hold of. Oh crap, not even in frame. Okay, so I got the wires attached to each side of this momentary switch, and we're going to add some solder. We're going to add some solder. Well, oh my god, if the phone quit ringing, we get this job done. Okay, well that didn't look so pretty, but it actually attached. So we're just going to come over here and make sure our wire is flush against our contact here, and that this looks somewhat stable. And we'll add some solder to that side. Oh my god! Okay. Alright, we got that nice and attached. Get a little snip of the excess wire. That should work. It is a little taller than the other one. Might be able to fix that. Let's see here. If I can shove it through a little further. This side needs to go down a little bit more. Trying to get the profile of these two things exactly level with each other. Alright, let's test functionality on this. That was my soldering station. Oh, come on. Or no, it wasn't. That was that thing turning off. Okay, gonna press the button. We should be good. Twist it back up here so you can see what I'm doing there. All right. Let's get this loose from here. Find what we did with this piece. this stuck back in here. This thing was glued to this board, so I had to kind of pry it up. It was in there good. Alright, we're going to mount this back where it goes, which was a little something like that. Not sure if it's got mounting alignment pins, doesn't look like it. Would have helped if I'd have kept the screws straight, because we got different size screws here. I'm going to grab the first, no, those are the ones on the bench there. They're on the other bench. Alright. That's all fine. Nothing like a big driver. Attach this sucker like lug nuts or something. It's got a variable trigger, so not so bad. Two more screws. I found one of them. It is a whole lot easier working on smaller stuff. Alright. That one's pretty pointless anyway. I want to feel these buttons. Feels like they're working. Get this ribbon attached. So I'm just reattaching these ribbons right in here. In there. Close the door on the little latch. The same over here. Close the door on the little latch. Now we should be able to take this around off the edge of the bench. Slide that up in place. We get a couple screws in here. That's the wrong screw, obviously. Let's try this one. Oh, helps if you go the right way. That's the wrong screw, didn't grab anything. And another phone call. Lady said I've called her 3 times. I've answered some phone calls, but I hadn't made any phone calls. Y'all know that. Alright. Hopefully that sized one will fall out the other side. If not, we'll just call this thing overbuilt and go with it. one more up here. And we got a bunch down here. Now this part isn't real thrilling watching me put screws back, but if I screwed up and lost the first part of the video, this is how you get the sucker apart. We got one more back here. Plug out of the way. Now we got some more in the front. If I remember correctly, these are tiny ones. Right in there, can y'all see that? And there was a couple up here. That must have been, the other one must have been the one I lost. We're calling it a day. I'm going to call it overbuilt. Alright, 2 plugs, rubber plugs up top. 2 on this side. These just feel like they're glued on, and the glue still felt like it was decent, so going with that. Do a final test run here. Alright folks, here's the deal. Volume up. Volume down. And it's working just fine. Power on, power off works just fine. Everything's working just the way it's supposed to. Moral to the story. Moral to this story is do not leave your Sony party box. Well, you know why it got left out in the rain. Don't leave that sucker out in the rain and let it get toasted. Anyhow, if you do, likely it's just those top buttons on the top, you know, right where the rain would hit. Go figure. And anyhow, if you have that situation come up, I'm going to go ahead and order some of those buttons on Mouser anyway, just in case, because I know you guys, you're going to be like, can you fix mine? And like, send me that little board. We'll see what we can do. All right. Anyway, you guys have a good one. At least we didn't do another instrument cluster, right? So, I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting tired of doing those every day, day in, day out. So, a little something different for you. And just to let you know, most of this electronics is much the same. I mean, this one can bite you a little bit because it's got 110 running into it, so it's not like a 12-volt system where you're just, you know, you've got some juice going into that sucker. But as long as you got everything unplugged, you should be all right. Of course, capacitors are still in there, and they're still charged until you discharge them. So there's inherently a few dangers there. Other than that, you guys take it easy. I'll see you on the next video.